Yeah, he had a great run, and it's fun to watch. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa. Caitlin Clark played about the same last year, so I watched a lot of basketball.
History roars rather than whispers when rising talents and legends converge. What started off as a standard post-game interview became an incredible event that nobody could have planned. A towering figure from basketball's heyday stepped forward, defying expectations with a single gesture, and cameras caught every moment. The audience froze. The internet went crazy, and Caitlin was stunned. Everything changed with just one motion and one microphone. However, what actually happened in that memorable flash? Fasten your seatbelt. There is more to this moment than just basketball. Now that Caitlin Clark is here, everything is changing. One name seemed to stand out more than the others in a season full with highlights. Clark. Caitlin. Expectations were high from the time she was selected by the Indiana Fever in June 2026. However, living up to the hype wasn't the only thing that transpired. It was about radically reinventing what it meant to be a rookie. Clark didn't simply join the WNBA. She ignited it with her deft passes, deep threes, and unwavering confidence. Her stats alone were astounding, averaging 19, 2 points, 8, 4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. However, statistics only provide a portion of the picture. Clark made an immediate impact in a league where newcomers typically need years to establish themselves. She became the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double with her record-breaking 337 assists and 122 three-pointers. These are claims rather than merely benchmarks. Here's the twist, though. It's possible that Clark's real strength is found far beyond the scoreboard. Her presence appeared to uplift the entire league with every sold-out arena and enthusiastic crowd. Clark attracted over 1 million TV viewers every game in a sport that has struggled for widespread recognition, something that was previously supposed to be almost unattainable in women's professional basketball. After her draft selection alone, ticket sales for the Indiana Fever increased by more than 400%, turning them from underdogs to must-watch. Is it a coincidence? Hardly. The Caitlin effect, according to some fans, feels more like a movement than a moment. Is she really that talented? Or is she what the league has been waiting for? Millions of people follow her on social media, and her captivating presence just serves to stoke the flames. Whether you're a fan of the game or simply like a good tale, Clark inspires people to watch, discuss, and have faith in the possibilities. But despite all the attention and excitement, there are still unanswered questions. Is it possible for a rookie to lead a team and possibly a league? Or are we seeing the beginning of something even more significant? Something nobody anticipated. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she took over, that much is certain. Fans everywhere might want to fasten their seatbelts because the future of basketball might already be here if this is just the beginning. She also has on a Fever jersey. But what if the entire game is being altered by a single rookie? Can Clark lead a franchise and usher in a new era? Keep your eyes fixed on your screen. Caitlin Clark, Larry Bird, and the excitement in Indiana. Until it wasn't, it began like any other courtside moment. There, in an unexpected move that drove spectators and commentators into a frenzy, Larry Bird leaned in and did something that caused the air to shift, cameras to tilt, and murmurs to rise. He picked up the microphone. Not just any microphone, but Caitlin Clark's in front of an enthusiastic Indiana audience. Was it an act of unplanned adoration, a deliberate gesture, or something else? Bird is more than just a Celtics legend in Indiana. He is a member of the basketball royal family. Larry Bird, who was born in French Lick and is closely associated with the state's basketball heritage, went home to coach the Indiana Pacers from 1997 to 2000, leading them to the NBA Finals in 2000. Later, as president of basketball operations, his astute observation and straightforward demeanor contributed to the development of the team's identity. It doesn't go unnoticed when someone else starts to shine as brilliantly as he once did, because Indiana basketball is ingrained in his DNA. It's interesting to note that Caitlin Clark, a rising star with a scorching shot, unparalleled vision, and an unwavering presence on the floor, is revolutionizing women's basketball. She does more than just play, just like Bird. She plans, forecasts, and rules. Even if her relationship with Indiana is new, it's hard to overlook the excellence she's inspiring. Thus, Bird's approach was more than merely a legend meeting prodigy. The future of Indiana was being touched by its past. The internet went crazy, of course. What was it that he said? Was it advise, support, or perhaps a symbolic handoff of the torch? Fans are already speculating wildly, despite the fact that nothing formal has been revealed. Is Bird implying a more significant part in Clark's adventure? Maybe mentoring? A cooperative effort behind the scenes? Or was it just one tale instantly identifying another? Regardless of the reality, the message was evident and the moment was electrifying. Greatness is acknowledged by greatness. The moment Larry Bird grabbed Caitlin Clark's microphone might have been fleeting, regardless of whether it was deliberate or just spontaneous. However, in terms of basketball, it seemed to go on forever. Fans will be reminded of the reasons for their passion for the game. Not only for the plays and points, but also for the unforeseeable magic that occurs when history gives a nod to the future. Now, everyone is wondering, what happens next? But what did Larry Bird's mic grab actually mean? Support, guidance, or something else entirely? Keep your eyes fixed on your screen. Basketball fans assumed they were in for a typical summer event, another polished presentation, another highlight clip, and another Q&A session with Caitlin Clark, the emerging star of women's basketball, when Larry Bird and Caitlin Clark lit up the court. Instead, they received a flash of unplanned history. A moment that cannot be captured on a scoreboard. When Larry Bird, an NBA icon, Indiana royalty, and a man more known for his deeds than his words, appeared out of nowhere, all eyes were on Clark, who was standing strong in her element. Nobody anticipated that he would take the stage. And still he was there. And Bird went out and grabbed the microphone straight out of Clark's hands, causing the entire gym to buzz. The audience let out a gasp. Was it a passing of the torch, a jest, a jab? The enchantment of the moment is found there. Really, nobody knows. We do know that Bird said a few succinct, cutting remarks that made Clark smile and the audience gasp. It wasn't rude. It had the weight of a legacy even though it wasn't practiced. The styles of Clark, who is redefining playmaking in 2020, and Bird, who defined toughness and vision in the 1980s, could not be more dissimilar. However, they have one uncommon quality in common: command. They seem to have control over the court, the pace, and now the dialogue. That microphone switch developed into something more than a peculiarity. It began to represent the bond between two great eras. Social media took off in a matter of hours. There were videos of the event all over the place. It was described as awkward by some. For others, it was amazing. However, there was more going on beneath the headlines and popular opinions. An understanding that the greatness of basketball transcends both gender and age. A tale had already entered the orbit of a rising star. Mentorship, whether intentional or covert, has long been respected in the basketball community. Furthermore, it raises more than simply a player when someone like Bird recognizes someone like Clark. It improves the women's game as a whole. Clark remained unflinching. She laughed, grinned, and handled it like a pro. Perhaps Bird was putting her to the test. Perhaps he was cheering her on. Perhaps both. Regardless of his motivation, he reminded everyone why the game is so fascinating. Not just because of what transpires on the court, but also because of these infrequent, unplanned encounters. Thus, a quick microphone grab turned into a significant event. It's not because of drama, but rather because it's about leaving a legacy, embracing the future, and giving it a nod that viewers won't soon forget. The mic grab that sparked a conversation. The world of sports occasionally provides us with an electrifying moment that is not just unexpected. Even if it might only last a few seconds, it can lead to hours of debate, waves of appreciation, and, yes, a lot of conjecture. When one of basketball's most famous legends, Larry Bird, performed an unexpected play that had everyone's eyes fixed on the screen, that's just what occurred. Birds moved up and took the microphone as Caitlin Clark was speaking at a live event. The internet burst, cameras clicked, and mouths dropped. You have to look past the video to see why this particular moment was so important. Bird, a man who used strength, presence, and accuracy to establish his legacy, hardly ever makes random public motions. Furthermore, Clark is more than simply another up-and-coming celebrity. She represents the next generation of women's basketball players. She has set records and gained acclaim thanks to her keen shooting, excellent court intelligence, and intense drive. Fans couldn't help but ponder what it meant when basketball's past and present collided in such an unplanned manner. Was it a fleeting moment of amusement, a sign of encouragement, or something more? A Hall of Famer giving someone he views as the future a silent nod? Any indication of interest from Bird is rarely casual due to his very high standards. Many people think that Clark's daring style reminds him of his own, and he is renowned for detecting greatness. Self-assured, unrelenting, and incredibly talented. Furthermore, these impromptu encounters between WNBA players and NBA greats have significance outside of the court. They dispel long-standing prejudices, highlight brilliance of all genders, and demonstrate to young fans, especially girls, that excellence is unlabeled. Maybe just seize the microphone. However, it also raised a more significant query. Is the basketball world at last realizing the genius that has always been in front of us? Furthermore, it goes beyond Bird and Clark. These exchanges can spread quickly, especially when they are recorded in real time. A courtside surprise turns into a viral phenomenon because of social media sites like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. All of a sudden, people who don't even follow basketball are discussing, sharing, and watching. It captivates everyone by fusing entertainment and sports in a way that produces a unique crossover moment between ardent supporters and casual spectators. Naturally, we might never understand Bird's true thoughts at that very moment. Was it adoration, a light-hearted interruption, or a message that only he and Clark could decipher? Whatever the facts, one thing is for sure, it made an impression. And perhaps it was more than just the microphone if it caused people to reconsider women's basketball and Caitlin Clark in particular. Perhaps the idea was to pass the torch in the most surprising way imaginable. But with that microphone maneuver, what was Larry Bird actually trying to say? And why can't people quit discussing it? Keep an eye out. Fans are shocked and intrigued by Larry Bird's sudden move. One unforeseen occurrence has now become the talk of both leagues due to the buzz that exists at the nexus of sports and storytelling. It wasn't simply a funny courtside surprise when NBA legend Larry Bird lunged for Caitlin Clark's microphone during a live WNBA event. Fans, brands, and locker rooms were all rocked by it. Was it a light-hearted gesture, a covert act of mentoring, or just an unplanned moment misinterpreted by a drama-hungry viral community? Regardless of the purpose, it ignited a spark. Bird is more than just a retired great. He is renowned for his remarkable accuracy and uncompromising intensity. He is a living example of brilliance in competition. Generations of athletes, including Clark, have been influenced by him. She has freely acknowledged that the hours she spent watching films of the greats, analyzing their methods, and absorbing mental toughness were responsible for her advancement. A brief acknowledgement from a legend like Bird might feel like reinforcement from the game itself to a player who is still forging her career in professional basketball. But feelings aren't the only issue here. Genuine interactions between rising stars and legends are invaluable in today's media-driven sports industry. These unplanned situations are quickly exploited by major sponsors and media outlets. A quick mic conversation can be repurposed into a viral video, an endorsement angle, or a marketing campaign to further solidify both names in the public consciousness. This is the intersection of business value and emotional resonance. Already praised as one of the most promising new players in women's basketball, Clark remained unfazed. If anything, she appeared to recognize the gravity of the situation. Her increasing reputation as a self-assured and coachable person was only strengthened by that composed, almost amused response. Bird himself possessed two qualities. Was it practiced? Most likely not. Was it a memorable experience? Of course. Additionally, this could be an indication of something more significant in the NBA and WNBA's developing relationship. A reminder that brilliance isn't always transmitted through speeches or ceremonies. On live broadcast, it can occasionally be briefly shared. Bird picked up a microphone, but what he actually gave could have been a small piece of history. But in that little instant, what did Bird actually give Clark? And might it completely alter the landscape of women's basketball? Keep an eye out. The court was illuminated by the thrilling moment. One unplanned moment rarely steals the show in the fast-paced, high-stress world of professional basketball. However, the sports world stopped, cameras flashed, mouths fell, and fans went crazy when Caitlin Clark, one of the WNBA's brightest young talents, encountered a living great like Larry Bird. What transpired during that fleeting yet memorable encounter? And why is it still a topic of discussion? It wasn't only a run-in with a famous person. This was the meeting between the new guard and basketball royalty. A symbolic torch passing with cultural and emotional significance. Growing up watching game videos and imitating the style of legendary players like Bird, Clark has frequently given credit to former players for influencing her basketball IQ. Thus, the event reverberated much beyond the arena when Bird took the microphone and spoke directly to her. Was it a sincere act of solidarity from one Indiana icon to another, or was it a staged publicity stunt? This type of engagement has more profound knock-on consequences behind the scenes. Corporate sponsors are aware that genuine relationships like these generate stories and headlines. Strong storylines, particularly those centered on respect, history, and the excitement of generational crossover, are highly sought after by brands. It's not only endearing for a seasoned professional like Bird to publicly interact with a rising star like Clark, but it's also marketing gold. The impact on oneself must also be taken into account. Acknowledgement from a legend is affirming as well as flattering. It gives a young athlete more confidence that their rigorous training sessions are paying off. Bird's career, which was based on accurate shooting, perseverance, and astute placement, has served as a model for success. Clark's already fiery desire is fueled by his willingness to share the stage, even if only momentarily. Not to be overlooked is the emotional impact of basketball's mentoring customs. These are not fleeting moments. They are a part of the fabric of sports. What keeps the game alive and developing is the notion that knowledge should be passed on from one generation to the next. These kinds of moments remind us all of the reasons we initially fell in love with the sport, blurring boundaries between leagues, genders, and historical periods. Was this a sincere act, a brilliant PR ploy, or both? In any event, one thing is certain. The entire globe pays attention when a legend leans in, and the game feels even more expansive. The excitement surrounding cross-court assistance. In a time when women's basketball is defining its own pace rather than trying to catch up, a single moment on live television provoked more than just cheers. It raised important issues. Was that gesture by well-known male sportsmen a sincere tribute to up-and-coming talent, or was it merely another commercial ploy disguised as support? Few people could have predicted the performance levels of today's elite female basketball players 10 years ago. The current generation is benefiting from years of preparation put in by their forebears thanks to access to top-notch training, state-of-the-art sports science, and competitive youth leagues. As a result, the game is becoming faster, more thrilling, and technically more proficient, drawing attention on the court, on screens, and on social media. Therefore, it should come as no surprise that their male counterparts, legends with decades of influence, have begun to pay attention. Even the most innocent act might have a hidden objective in a world where endorsement deals and branding strategies create public identities. However, as cameras record these moments of public acclaim, some people can't help but wonder, is this sincere support or calculated visibility? One recent instance that went viral on the internet was when a well-known NBA legend unexpectedly showed up courtside at a women's collegiate game, expressing what appeared to be unprompted adulation and even reaching for a microphone. The audience went crazy. Headlines erupted after the video went viral. However, discussions simmered off the court. Was it more important to stay relevant in a market that was expanding or to uplift the next generation? Women's basketball is no longer a side event because of websites like ESPN+, Instagram, and TikTok. It is in the forefront. Fans have a strong bond with athletes because they follow their statistics, personal narratives, and even personalities off the court. Additionally, such relationship generates revenue, brand power, and loyalty. Aligning with budding female stars offers more than simply goodwill for seasoned male athletes and businesses. It's smart business. However, a lot of supporters think that things have actually changed. Cross-gender respect is now not only acceptable but also necessary due to cultural changes. Cheering loudly for female athletes is now expected in 2026 and beyond, not out of courtesy but because their sport requires it. So, was that public display of support merely an expression of respect, or was it a component of a larger scheme? The conversation is here and it's louder than ever, even though we might never know for sure. However, what if that strong display of support was more calculated than genuine? To discover the magic of basketball moments, keep your eyes riveted to your screen. There's something explosive about genuine encounters between basketball veterans and today's young players. Fans enthusiastically discuss, analyze, and share moments on the internet. Excitement is sparked by these uncommon ties, which combine the new energy of today's stars with nostalgia for legendary players. These exchanges provide more than just highlights, whether it's a straightforward handshake, a light-hearted conversation, or a shared smile. They write tales that bring basketball fans of all ages together. Fan engagement is greatly impacted. Clips and discussions abound on social media, uniting both new and devoted followers. It serves as a reminder that basketball is more than simply a sport. Respect for talent, diligence, and legacy is the foundation of this community. It's like passing a torch, demonstrating a common passion for the sport and a desire to see it flourish, when former legends recognize new players. These relationships have the potential to change basketball's future. Younger athletes will have access to mentorship from former court rulers, advice that goes beyond skill development and touches on mentality and pressure management. It's a means for retired greats to continue being active and motivating the next generation. Beyond the NBA court, there are repercussions. Growing awareness among male legends will benefit women's basketball. Open support from NBA stars for the WNBA recognizes the ability and commitment of female athletes. Women's basketball becomes a more popular sport as a result of this respect, which increases media attention, sponsorship, and viewership. Could more sincere interactions between female players and legends aid in removing obstacles? Fans enjoy conjecturing, and these instances point to a time when gender-neutral basketball brilliance will flourish. In the end, sincere relationships both on and off the court sustain the game's spirit and excite players and fans year after year. However, what do you suppose Larry Bird meant when he grabbed Caitlin's microphone during a live broadcast? Please share your thoughts in the comment section, subscribe, and enable all notifications so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.